searching for gaming knowledge comes the man, the myth, a legend in his own mind, Critical. Welcome back, guys and gals. Critical here. Today I'm bringing you I don't want to say a review, but my thoughts on the T2 beta for Wolcen Lords of Mayhem. Alright. They've made some good visual representations. They've made some improvements. They have put 3D models so that when something drops on the ground, you know it's a pair of pants or a chest piece or what type of weapon it is on the ground, which is a nice improvement. The effects have been improved. There's some new mobs for us to fight, a couple new mini bosses. I shouldn't say a couple. It's actually one new mini boss and then some new mobs that are definitely a pain in the butt. I will give them some credit on that. The game felt okay. It played pretty well. I had some disconnect issues, and I'll go into those in just a little bit. But I need to give you guys a little bit of some background on my experience with this game. I've played Wolcen for a while now. I bought into the alpha. I missed the Kickstarter. I never played the game when it was called Umbra. Okay, because the game's name has changed. They've gone through a lot of changes in this game. It's been being made for about 7 years roughly, and they've tore it down, built it back up, tore it down, built it back up. And I respect that process. I understand how an alpha game works, an early access game. You're basically buying their idea, and that idea can keep continuously changed. One of the things that brought me to Wolcen, one of the things that I thought was one of the coolest parts of this game that was promised to us, or was a thought that this is what we want to do, was the idea of not only could you construct your own interior house, but you could actually construct your own dungeons and allow your friends to go through your dungeons. Other people will go through your dungeons, and then, you'd get reports on how well that went. I thought that was a really cool idea. And yeah, it's gone. Because they've taken the ability to twist the screen so that you could see in the different corners and control that kind of stuff. Those ideas, I think, are gone. I looked. They're not there anymore. And I was really excited for the T1 beta, but I don't know why they're calling this a beta. It's not. The alpha was the alpha. The alpha was a different game. This is entirely a new game. If I think Wolcen should be honest, if I think the dev team should be honest, they should be calling this an alpha, a T1 alpha. Or don't even call it alpha or beta, just call it a technical beta, or don't call it a beta, a technical test, a multiplayer technical server stress test. That would be more representative of what I am seeing here, because this isn't better than the alpha. This isn't a more complete game than when the alpha was. Now, I'm not giving the alpha a break or a pass. The alpha had a lot of bugs in it. I loved playing my lightning sorceress, lightning sorceress, and my lightning was awesome, and it was one of the coolest spells, and I could light up the entire screen. It was so glorious until it crashed the game almost every single time. If you used lightning in the arena, it was over. Or if there was too many mobs on the screen and you used lightning, the game would hard crash. I've actually had to completely reset my computer. It wasn't just crash the game and I could reboot. No, I had to actually shut my computer off. So there was a lot of problems, but I looked past that because, it's an alpha. There's stuff that we can do. And I had high hopes for Wolcen. I'm not saying that I'm over the game. I still want to cover it. But unless the T3 technical beta, whatever they want to call this next one, is showing me something of the world, because all we've gotten now are a couple tile sets. And what I mean by tile sets is, here's this piece of a dungeon, and we're going to give you this piece of a dungeon, and we're going to give you a third piece of the dungeon. Okay, rinse your hair out, do it again. And as a stress test, that makes sense. As a beta, it makes no flipping sense whatsoever. They've completely trashed the world that was in the alpha, and they want us to accept that they've retooled or remade the game, and that this is a whole new world that we have to explore. But they refuse to show us what that world's going to look like. They haven't shown us what a town might look like. They haven't showed us how the woods are going to look now that you can't swing the screen around. And I'm okay if they don't want to have a game that you can't swing the screen. I've played other games where that isn't possible, and I'm fine with that. It is a world design issue, but they refuse to show us the world. The update videos that Wolcen is putting out saying, here's some of our skills, here's some of the things that we're working on. It shows us a few areas, but it doesn't show us, you know, anything of the world. And they almost look like static test areas. They feel like they're very similar areas. There wasn't a lot of difference in what we were seeing. We weren't able to see, oh, so this type of area will look like this, or this biome, or that biome. That's information that me as a player wants, so that I know that this game is going someplace that I want to join on that journey. I know I'm kind of rambling, and I'm not doing this while I'm actually playing the game. I normally don't do pre-recorded footage, but I had a lot of thoughts on Wolcen, and I wanted to kind of detach from the gameplay per se, but give you my thoughts on it. Okay, so this technical beta, I said I had a couple issues. Let's look at those. So I was getting some odd disconnects, and this scene's going to show you. So I'm going up against what I'm going to call a screecher, and I seem to have gotten stuck behind this pillar. I don't know why. I didn't roll into it. I just kind of ran into this area, and I'm stuck. You can see that I'm trying to jump. I'm trying to roll. I'm trying to do anything to get out of this area, and I can't do anything. I basically am dead. But after I die, you'll see that my character, my doll, is going to come out with my arms extended fully to my sides, and then I'm not going to be walking. This isn't the only time that I saw this. This is the only time that it actually caused me to die. And that's really annoying when that happens in a game like this. Now, it is a technical beta. This is the stuff they're trying to work out. But if I didn't report it, then I'm not doing you guys any good. So I wanted to show it. And once I kind of get up, and it takes like, I'd say maybe 1 or 2 seconds before I can actually control my character, it's improved. Now, the second time this happens, it isn't what causes my death, but I could see it leading to a death. But I noticed that the server kind of gives you a grace period. So here I've fallen to the butcher style guy, and you'll see that I'm stuck. I'm actually trying to do something and I can't. But when I was getting hit, when he was actually hitting me, it wasn't causing me damage. It was stunning me, but the stun wasn't having an effect, because the mob would hit me again and it wouldn't actually cause me any kind of damage. So I'm not sure if they know it's an issue and they are attempting to mitigate that issue, but it's definitely an issue that they're going to have to work on before the T3 stress test, multiplayer, whatever they want to call it. Now, don't get me wrong. I want Wolcen to succeed. I want another good ARPG, and especially one that's on the Cryon engine. I mean, damn, this game was beautiful. But, you know, as a famous person once said, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. I'm not saying this is a pig. I'm saying that it's a pretty game that has flaws. And because they keep remaking the game, we don't know what we're going to get. I'm not sure if I'm making that clear. We were promised, we were told we're making X game, and then that game has been torn down, and yeah, we overstretched. We couldn't meet that. It's just not realistic. We're going to tear it down and start over again. Don't lose faith in us. We're not leaving, but we've had to kind of adjust. And I understand that. And the fact that they came out and told us, yeah, you know, what we originally thought we could do, we really can't do. So to continue the project, we need to make X, Y, and Z changes. Okay, good. Don't abandon it. I don't want this game to be abandoned. And that's a good thing. But they're going so far afield from where I originally decided I wanted to play this game that now I'm really worried that I don't know what kind of game we're going to get. What type of lore, what type of world are we going to get? I know they're trying to show us, hey, we're still working on the game. Look at the improvements we're making to this stress test endless dungeon that we've created. And they have made improvements. This is much better. There's much better feel to the combat. The hits when you swing your weapon actually impact the enemy when you swing your weapon, and not a millisecond or 2 milliseconds later, to where you notice, like, I'm swinging through these enemies and I'm almost ready to swing a second time, and my first hit finally did some damage. That was really distracting. It really pulled you out of the experience in the T1. In T2, they fixed that. Okay, good work. I'm glad to see that. But is this being created as a multiplayer, online only game? Is it gonna have a solo experience? Is it going to have a campaign or a world to explore? Or are we kind of on the road for this is going to be a multiplayer game and that's the focus? And they haven't shown me. There's still a tab, there's still a button on the load-in screen to go solo. So I'm hoping that means that there's still going to be a world. Now, what I mean by that, a lot of multiplayer games, a lot of online only games don't have a lot of story / world to explore. In my personal opinion, I think that when a developer is forced to entertain an individual on their own, meaning there's a single player and we're going to give them a world to explore, they have to bring their A game in creating that world. Give us a reason to care about this world and to explore this world. When they have a multiplayer game, meaning there's multiple people all doing different things at the same time, they have less of an incentive, less of a reason to create this big, giant, expanding world to really entertain you, because they're expecting you and your friends to entertain each other. Because there's more than one person, you're talking to them. You're not paying attention to what a quest giver is actually saying to you, or what this monster is actually doing on the screen, because you're more involved talking and laughing and having a good time with your friends, enjoying the game. And that's completely fine. It's not the game that I want, though. That's not what I was hoping for. This could still be a game that I want. I'm hoping it will be. They've made enough of an improvement between the two T1 quote-unquote betas that they've showed us that there's still hope. I'm still holding out hope. I'm just a little bit concerned as to what their focus is. And I know they have a roadmap, and I know that they say this is what we're working on. I'm sorry. I'm done with the roadmap. Okay? This is I'm gonna rant, okay? If you've had enough, I understand if you leave right now. But I'm gonna rant a minute, okay? And I usually don't do this, but I have to. I'm done with this roadmap, because the roadmap's completely useless if you're constantly redoing the damn game over and over again. Because we had a roadmap before, and I appreciated that. Some games don't give you a roadmap because they know they're going to change, and the one thing they don't want to do is piss off the damn community. Wolcen, what the hell are you doing? You know, dev team, I don't get it. Why give us this detailed roadmap, which is appreciated, okay? And then continuously change the roadmap. Continuously change it so that things that were on there have been removed. And what I mean by removed, they're gone. I wanted to be able to show you guys the part where this game said it was supposed to have a crafted dungeon, meaning you can make your own dungeon and let somebody else go through it. That was awesome. It's not on the Steam page, which is good because that's no longer going to be part of this game, I'm almost sure. And it's no longer on the roadmap. You know, I could respect it if it was on the roadmap and said, this is an idea that we had. We love this idea, but it just wasn't possible. We looked at it and it's just the technology isn't there. Or our level of experience, we don't think we could do this idea justice. I would be perfectly fine with that. I wouldn't even be upset because that tells me, hey, instead of giving us crap in the end, they've looked at it and said, okay, we said we had this amazing idea, but we really can't bring this idea to a logical conclusion where we feel you guys are actually going to enjoy it. So instead of giving you a flawed concept, we want to give you a much better experience. I would accept that. I would praise it. I would give them credit for doing that. This damn dev team doesn't do that. They say, hey, we're going to bring you a beta at the end of 2018. And we're all expecting it to be based on the alpha. And we're all expecting to get the apocalyptic form because that's what's always been promised to us. And then T1 beta comes out and they're like, hey guys, before this T1 beta comes out, we're going to delay it yet again. But we're going to bring it out, but there's been a lot of changes to the game and we've had to tear it down and start over again. What are you talking about? You had an alpha. Why couldn't you build on the alpha? And it turns out because the alpha was built on a game that had a rotating screen. And I think a couple other things, but I'm not privy to what else might have made that alpha build not susceptible or not acceptable. Jesus, I can't even talk right now. I'm so upset. Not acceptable to bring it to a beta rendition or a beta version of the game. I'm not sure what else could cause them to have to completely rip it apart and retool it. But okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that they had to make changes. But this isn't a Wolcen beta. This is basically the Wolcen engine being used in a different game. That's what it feels like to me. Yeah, the world looks the same. The world feels the same. But the world's gone. Now, I will say that the alpha, the world in the alpha, the quest, it wasn't strong. It wasn't lore deep. It wasn't a well-crafted experience. But it was an experience. Where's the experience in this technical beta? Show me the experience. You have some place called nowhere. Literal. Now, good joke. I like the joke. I mean, the humor is nice. But you spawn into this world. You've got this little community that is eventually, I don't know, is it going to mean anything in the real game? In the real game, are you going to be able to come here and revisit these people? Do they have any meaning whatsoever besides being pawns in your technical beta test? If it's not, then you haven't shown us anything. You've only showed us tile sets. Granted, some new tile sets that look really well crafted. The dungeons are crafted really well. But is this going to be a dungeon runner? Is it going to be something akin to Diablo 1? I get a lot of Diablo 1 feel with this technical beta. There's a small little community. You have these few people that you can interact with, and they want you to go through this opening over here in the cathedral and just keep pounding that dungeon until you get to the bottom and kill the butcher. All right? And I love Diablo 1. Okay? There was an end to it. The end was getting down and killing the butcher. And it wasn't easy, but it was fun and it was fulfilling. Damn it, Wolcen. All you had to do is take the T2, the tile sets that we already had, combine them with the T1, and then with the T2 tile sets, and at the end, give us a boss fight. Give me that Diablo experience where I'm constantly trying to push down deeper into this dungeon, and at the end, there's a boss to fight. Congratulations, you've completed this experience. Where's the experience? Go here, kill the stuff, repeat. Right here, you just saw on the screen, I had a rubber banding effect. Now, I didn't die, it didn't cause me a problem, but there's a rubber banding effect. But where's the experience? I don't have anything to show at the end. What's gonna make me wanna come back and do this over again with another character? Because there's no satisfaction in the end. There's no, aha, I've defeated your technical beta. I own this, this is mine. I don't get that. I don't get that in the least. I've covered other games, and I know somebody's gonna go, oh, you're just showing for this other game because we know you cover that game, so you want to bring this game down. No, I want the damn dev team to see this video and understand that, yes, I like what you're doing, and it looks beautiful. It is an amazing, beautiful game. It runs really well. That in itself, on this engine, at this level, it runs perfect. It was smooth. No FPS drops whatsoever. A few disconnect issues, but that's something that you're always going to have when you're doing an online game. Hence my question, is there going to be offline? But they've done such an amazing job with what they have. It would be heartbroken if we lose the experience that we had in the alpha. So that's what I'm asking for. Give me an experience. Give me something. Even a Diablo 1 experience. Here's a dungeon where we've given you 15, 20, even if it's tile sets from the original alpha, I'd be okay with that. And at the bottom, there is actually a hard boss to fight. And if you die, okay, we have this token system, and I'm playing solo right now. So we have this token system. If you die, you lose your progression. You go all the way back to beginning, and you have to start over again. And you've lost your equipment. The equipment's stuck down there, and now you're starting over. You're rebuilding. Yeah, that would be tough. That would kind of suck. But then they would give you a challenge. Hey guys, I tried to do this on my own, and I got my butt kicked, and I've lost all my equipment. Can somebody come on here, encouraging multiplayer play? Hello, and help me try to get back down to my stuff, or help me rebuild so that I can attempt to get this on. Oh, you haven't finished it? Let's try to do this together. Maybe together we could do it. And if it is 2 people playing, or 3 people, or 4 people, make the damn mobs harder. Because I've watched other people's gameplay, and when they had 4 people in the game, the mobs were still dying in 1 or 2 hits. There wasn't an escalating challenge that made playing with a group of people beneficial. I didn't see more loot, because everybody's loot is your loot. Nobody shares loot. It's what drops is for you. If you're in town and they're in the world doing, or down in the dungeon, you know, killing stuff, you can actually hear rares and uniques dropping, get back into the dungeon, and run through an empty dungeon full of all this treasure that you didn't earn. Your partners did, because it just drops. I don't know. Like I said, I still love Wolcen. I hope this game does well. I want the developers to complete a game, and I want the game to have soul. Right now, this game doesn't have a soul. It's like it's an entity searching for a vessel to fill. That's my feeling of Wolcen. All right, guys and gals, rant's done. Sorry about that. I don't normally do this, but if I didn't want this game to succeed, I wouldn't even do this damn video. So don't call me a shill. Don't be a hate. Don't call me a hater. It's because I care about the game that I'm this passionate. I can't even talk. I'm so upset that I'm this passionate about wanting this game to succeed. Hopefully, my death doesn't mean the death of this game. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.